This is Daily Armenia, ＳivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what you need to know today. Turkey's special representative to Armenia has offered to visit Yerevan next week to continue normalization talks between the two countries, an ongoing process that has been stalled for the past 2 years. "I propose to meet in Yerevan next week. It will be a historic event," Serdar Kılıç told his Armenian counterpart, Ruben Rubinian, today during a panel discussion at this year's Antalya Diplomatic Forum in Turkey. For his part, Rubinian said he would prefer to discuss the time and place of their next round of talks later, while reiterating Armenia remains ready to normalize relations with Turkey at this very moment. 2 years ago, Rubinian and Kılıç announced a breakthrough agreement to partially open the two countries' long-closed border at the earliest possible date, but that deal apparently stalled. As of now, the border remains closed. Also present at today's panel discussion were Hikmet Hacıyev, the Azerbaijani president's foreign policy advisor, and Toivo Klar, the European Union's special representative for the region. Hacıyev today insisted Armenia and Azerbaijan should continue talks on a bilateral basis without third-party mediation. Foreign Minister Ararat Mirzoyan was also present at the forum, having previously attended in 2022. Following Azerbaijan's ethnic cleansing last year, Nagorno-Karabakh is considered the least free place in the entire world. That is according to a new report by Freedom House, a prominent nonprofit based in Washington. This year's Freedom in the World report, which assesses rights and liberties worldwide on a country-by-country basis, gave Nagorno-Karabakh, which has been nearly completely depopulated, an extremely rare negative score on a 100-point scale. Prior to Azerbaijan's seizure of the region last year, Freedom House ranked Nagorno-Karabakh as partly free, with 37 points. Meanwhile, the report gave Armenia, which it also categorizes as partly free, 54 out of 100 points. In the immediate region, only Georgia, which is also considered partly free, scored higher, at 58 points. For comparison, not free Azerbaijan scored a dismal 7 points. The only other former Soviet country outside the Baltics that scores higher than Armenia is Moldova at 61 points. Freedom House gives Ukraine 49 points. Armenia's ambassador at large has resigned due to differences with the government over the country's foreign policy after 2 years in the position. In a post on X explaining his move, Edman Marukyan stated yesterday, "Recently, the differences in our visions on a number of fundamental foreign policy issues make my further involvement in the foreign policy front impossible." While Marukyan did not explain the nature of these differing visions, his latest interviews and public appearances suggest he favors pursuing a more balanced foreign policy than Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, who has pivoted in recent months away from Russia and toward the European Union and United States. Pashinyan, who appointed Marukyan to the role, has so far not commented publicly on his resignation. Armenia's parliament speaker has suggested the country should seek EU membership as ties with Russia continue to worsen. "We have much better democracy indicators than many of our partners that are already members of the EU," Alan Simonian told reporters yesterday, adding, "I think that we should think about membership." At the same time, though, Simonian conceded that drastic movements are not a good thing, and said he would not encourage any hasty steps. Continuing, Simonian dismissed concerns Russia would retaliate for potential future steps such as leaving a Moscow-led military alliance. In recent months, Pashinyan has repeatedly stated Armenia wishes to move as close to the EU as the bloc deems possible, but has not announced any intentions to apply for membership. And finally, the SivilNet number of the day is 8. That's because it was announced Sam Simonian will become the 8th president of the global philanthropic organization, the Armenian General Benevolent Union, this fall. He is succeeding Berd Setrakian, who has held the office for the past 22 years. Simonian is a Beirut-born Armenian-American tech entrepreneur and co-founder of the Yerevan-based Tumo Center for Creative Technologies. Past AGBU presidents include major figures in the Armenian world, such as Bogos Nubar Pasha and Alex Manukyan. And as always, please follow SivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.